I think it's connecting, but it's connecting somewhere else. Can you guys still hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
No, I can still hear you. Sorry, it takes me a second to get
I
back.
couldn't get to my mute button.
Sorry. It's saying it's live, but I don't know. Let me see if I can.
No, I'm on the live show. At least one of the live shows. It says waiting on the channel.
Yeah, I'll just see if it's streaming somewhere else. Hang on.
All right, Jem. Yeah, I am actually somewhere else. Yeah, and actually it is streaming somewhere. You're good to go.
Are people there in that chat?
7 people.
Where's it gone then?
This is Debate Flat Earth and More channel. The show is called Jem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast 61. Started
Okay.
streaming a minute ago.
Can you post the link then in the other chat? Hello everyone, we'll be ready to go in a moment.
Absolutely.
Are you able to post links? I think you've got mods, haven't you?
I posted it in the chat for the other show.
What channel are we on then? Are we on Humans of Earth or Debate Flat Earth and More?
No, it's Debate Flat Earth and More show.
Right.
Or Debate Flat Earth and More channel, but it's just a different show for some reason.
God only knows why it's done that. Welcome. So is that it? Are we good to go then, are we? In that
I'll post it
case,
some more times.
I'll play this.
Stop talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate.
Do we have another benevolent sir here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent if your friend was?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.
Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to Jem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast. I hope you found us. We're late, but we're back once again with the show they don't want you to see. In tonight's show, we bring you the very best from the last week in Conspiritardia. Once again, we hit the streets and attend a lockdown protest in Birmingham. We take an extra long look at Bob from Globebusters, plus hot news from the King. I am your host, Jem, and joining me, as always, are just some of the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. They are Curbed, Kosho, and Scott. Good evening, guys, and welcome.
Sup, bitches?
Oy vey. You know I'm always excited to hear about the King, so.
Yeah, I know you are. I knew you'd be pleased. Yes. So, anyway, it's all been a bit frantic today. I hope you found where we are. For some reason, I set the show up, as I always do. Did nothing different to what I usually do. I hit the start button, and it made it live somewhere else. Who knows why it did that, but it did. So, I hope you've got here. Should probably just get on with it, because there's lots to get through. It's a long one. Shall we do that? All right, we will.
As always.
Okay, we start tonight with a sort of study of the wise old man of Flat Earth, Bob Nodell. In this, the first of 3 clips, here is what Bob thinks of us. Oh shit, didn't cue it up. Here it comes.
here's the thing, and I'm going to make this appeal again, to everybody. And if you're a flat earther, if you are a content producer, you do what you want with your channel, but I want to tell you what I think about this. And I have had a policy on Globebusters from day one of zero tolerance. I mean, frankly, I don't give a crap what ballers think. I don't want them here trying to debate anybody on my show. They can go to hell for all I care, and of course what they do then at that point is claim censorship. Well, let me tell you about that censorship. We're being censored, from here to hell, by YouTube and every other platform on our censorship. And so why any flat earther would ever let a ball earther even comment, especially derogatorily, on their channel is beyond me. Why? Because they can, they sit there and they will claim censorship. Well, you know what? It's not censorship. In fact, if those same ballers actually go and they get their own channel and debunk flat earth, guess what happens? YouTube promotes them, right? So you're guaranteed if you go use your First Amendment rights of free speech on YouTube, and you do it in such a fashion that you are debunking flat earth, well, guess what? They're going to promote you. They're going to get you. You're guaranteed of millions of views if you have a halfway decent video, anything like that. So, why you would even want to, comment and try and take it down from the inside is beyond me. Other than what it does do is it causes people that are trying to look into it honestly, they try and shame them. They try and make them feel that they're doing something horribly wrong by even looking at flat earth, anything like that. So my policy has always been, if it's a negative comment about, the flat earth, I don't give a shit. It's F you as far as I'm concerned, and I will delete the comment. All right. So they have every reason to not let them do this. And because we're trying to spread this flat earth message and, I don't know how many times I can say this. You don't need to let them put in their vitriol and their 2 cents worth, because it isn't even worth 2 cents. All right? Get rid of those comments. Ban them. Do not let them comment on your channels. Just don't do it. And I mean, I'm making that appeal to you. And I'm giving you, I think, a damn good reason to not let them do that.
No, yeah, you really are. Because, the way that I was looking at it was I don't feel like I'm just going to let it all be translucent. I'm like, the third party's going to be like, look at these crazy people. They're not actually responding to any of the arguments. They're just calling them names. But when you break it down, I mean, the truth is that if someone goes there, that's going to help confirm their bias in a way. Like that comment section of just complete nonsense filled with non sequiturs of babbling morons. That's going to confirm the bias of the person uncomfortable listening to me tell you why clearly the earth is flat. So I agree with you when you break it down.
So that was Bob on banning. He wants to wipe us all out, it seems, in that sense. So the first thing I will say is, if any content creators are listening, let's have a concerted effort of making videos about Bob, since that's what he seems to want us to do. Let's flood the flat earth with Bob videos.
Yeah, why not? I just don't get why he keeps talking about these measurements that have been made from different altitudes using that same the same gyroscope that they used for that he got caught using in the documentary. But he won't. Nowhere will he publish these findings or any of the measurements. So I mean, what else are we supposed to do besides talk about them?
Right.
I mean, there's no evidence that that's even happened, but that's all he does is talk about how they're different, and he's got people like Witsit in the shot, talking about it. So, we just want to see them.
He did make one point I thought that was perhaps true, is that what he said was that the trolls, as he put it, outnumber the flat earthers by 1,000 to 1. So if you allow a lot, one comment, that's all it's going to be is, anti-comments. Go ahead, Scott. I saw you on mute. Oh, you are horribly, horribly quiet to me.
Horribly.
Yeah, unbelievably. Just just there in the background. Curved, any thoughts on Bob?
I stand with Bob in his beliefs about his First Amendment rights on YouTube.
Right, yeah.
What the fuck is that? You don't have any, Bob.
I think, right, I think when he says, and then they scream censorship, I think he's talking about me. Because I have said that a lot to him. Because I do think, I do think they're bad. And I think that, I've had sort of polite, I've asked polite questions before. And you just get banned, you've got to be a believer. And I think if you're in a position, if the thing that you're doing on YouTube is challenging the status quo, the accumulated human knowledge, and you're saying you're wrong about everything, and what people think is wrong, and they're asleep, and then you should expect people to come and challenge that, And I'm not sure you should expect to be able to do it unchallenged, I think when you're saying those sort of things, then you're challenging, you're challenging what's there. You should then be happy to be challenged, I would have thought.
No, you've got to shield the flock from the suppressive persons.
Yes, it is like that, isn't it? It really is like that. So, anyway, should we do another clip? Because we've got a bit more, Bob, and we have got a lot to get through today. So,
Beach have anything on that, or is he not fixed
I don't know.
it?
Has he fixed it yet? Have you fixed it yet, Scott? We'll assume that's no. For now. All right, renowned Apollo hoaxer Jara White recently issued Jeranism with a copyright strike for regurgitating some of Jara's bullshit. And now the gloves are off between Jara and Bob. Here are a couple of clips recorded just a few minutes apart with Bob discussing maps. Enjoy. Oh, God, did I not get it ready again?
I personally believe that the Gleason's map is not that far off, and there's just some things that need to be explained about it. But overall, I think it really does a really nice job of covering the general topography. Not to mention the fact that as a ground-based map, it works absolutely perfectly. How do I know that? Because businesses, corporations, everybody use it all over the world, and it works for these type of navigations. Ham radio operators use it. This AE projection is quite effective, right? So even though it may not have some sky alignments or stuff like that people can't wrap their head around, that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. And I think that Jaron and I have offered a lot of viable explanations that are a lot more plausible than stupid excuses like, people try and give us for like Selenelian eclipses, the ultimate refraction of all time that refracts light, 100,000 miles up into space, stupid stuff like that. People will accept that, but, us saying that, there's going to be a magnetic field that are actually taking the gases around in this semi-spiral pattern, the effects that the firmament could possibly cause. Yeah, the coffee cup caustic effect. I mean, when you take these are real effects, right? These are real scientifically based effects. And if we do indeed have a firmament, then this stuff can go a long ways in explaining how we can get our views of the flat Earth and even the apparent sun position. It goes a long ways understanding things like Faraday effect. That's why we cover things like this. And that brings us to our next section that I want to cover, and this goes back to, our good buddy Jara White, right? So, like I was talking about, Jara White, this whole thing started. Well, it started obviously before this, but this is his newest PDF, and I did not get this off Alice. He came and dropped it in my chat. So, to me, like I said, this begs for a response. So, I don't even know if I need to claim that this is fair use because this is a public document. He sent it to me specifically. So not only am I going to address it, I'm going to debunk every single point of it because, for somebody that, touts this Bachelor of Science degree, he got it so wrong, it's just simply beyond belief. And he starts out initially, he thinks he's won the argument right here, right? It says flat Earth fails on longitudes. Well, so what does he do? He shows 16,000 kilometers at, the interlongitude line, latitude line, 36,788 kilometers, about halfway, 40,000 at the equator. And then it keeps going down, right? So, but what he's doing is he's showing this projection, which of course we know that the Gleason's projection was taking off of a ball Earth, and the ball Earth itself is a projection of the flat Earth with all these distortions in it. Because we know from certain explorers like Captain Cook and Magellan, right, that when they went around and tried to circumnavigate Antarctica, their figures were closer to 60 to 70,000 miles, which is what, 100,000 kilometers, something like that. So, yeah. And nobody ever said that the Gleason's map, especially when you put the latitude and longitude figures on it for a ball Earth, of course it's not going to work because the latitude and longitude figures were designed for a ball Earth, not a flat Earth. So again, this is another one of those instances where these dumbays really basically go in and they try and apply their heliocentric model, their ball model, and they put it on the flat Earth, and then they point their finger at it and laugh at it and go, ha ha ha, see, it doesn't even work at all. And, he crows about it. He says, the inability to produce a working map of a flat Earth single-handedly proves that the Earth is not flat. It is very easy to prove that it does not work. How can the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle be exactly the same length as their northern counterparts on a flat disk? Checkmate, right? Well, it's like, all right, so my response to that, Mr. White, is why is it that, we look at the globe, and the globe is admittedly, every single continent on the globe is the wrong size. In fact, it's been intentionally distorted. Yeah, admitted. And the thing that is beyond belief, guys, is when NASA shows a picture of the globe Earth with these distorted continents, they're claiming that this is a real picture of the Earth. And then it's like, ballers, do you not see a problem with this, right? So if we know that those continents are the wrong size, and NASA is giving us a photograph saying that, yeah, here's a picture of the Earth with what we know is demonstrably untrue about the continent sizes, you don't see a problem with this. So that takes us back to, where is your map that is actually real and workable, right? Every map that you have that is workable, that pilots use, that navigators use, that ship makers use, is a flat map. You do not set flight plans or anything like that using great circle routes. It's all done on a flat base map. When you go to the militaries, it's a grid system map. It's all flat. All of it is flat. Every map is flat. If all of this stuff was based around a globe, why did the globe not appear until 1492? If this has been known that it was a globe for thousands of years, the reason is because it hasn't been known that it was a globe for thousands of years. It's been known that it is flat. Every single culture out there knew that it was a flat Earth, and still does. In many other countries, they still acknowledge it fully that this is a flat world. So you guys really need to get, up on the times and understand that it's the ball Earth that's completely wrong. It's the ball Earth. There's nothing accurate at all about the globe. In fact, so much so that you look on the bottom of a globe, you go to the store to buy one, and it tells you that it's for novelty use only. All right? It's not real. It's a fantasy. Even the people making them acknowledge it. They're telling you right to your face, like they do everything else, and you simply don't want to see it. So, that's where we're going to start out with Gerald White. And then he goes on, and you can tell that this guy has got a complete hard-on for flat earthers, right? Because he goes down and he goes on to say, but no matter where you begin looking into the Apollo hoax movement, there's one viewpoint that produces no useful information at all, that of a flat earther. And of course, look at this. He bolds out that of a flat earther. I mean, the guy's got a chip on his shoulder, right? This is so obvious.
Thinks they're all the same. All flat earthers are just the same, yeah.
Yeah. Like we're all stupid. And it's like, this is one thing that really bugs me, because like in FE Core, we have a lot of people in there that, have legitimate degrees, science degrees, engineering degrees. people even that work at Los Alamos National Laboratories. We've had people come to the conferences that work at, some of the larger national laboratories. They talk to us. Of course, they can't come out and show their identity. They would be drummed right out of, wherever they work. And of course, what's the baller's response? Oh yeah, well, you can't give us their names, so they must not exist. It's like, no, we give you your names. You're going to sick, George Nutsack on them and try and get them disbarred out of the professional engineers or whatever society they have, because that's the game you guys have to play. You have to play that game because you got nothing. You got no argument. You got no evidence whatsoever. There is no evidence for a ball, and all of the evidence, all of the preponderance of evidence is for a flat, motionless Earth, period.
As Tim Osmond put it, onslaught of gish gallop and reassurance for the mouth breathers. And I think that is very true. I think Bob was preaching it there and churning out lines from the meme like there's no tomorrow. So, yeah, what do you think, guys, to that pile of crap?
Disgusting. Tell you what, I was kind of feeling physically ill a little bit listening to that. I did not get a con man vibe from Bob at all, especially when he said shit like the globe is a projection of the flat Earth, or a projection from the flat Earth.
Right.
What flat Earth is it projected from? Can we see this?
Right.
Where is the projection?
He gets very confused over this, and I've heard him say this before. And I think, as we look at a Mercator map, a standard Mercator map, and we know that there is distortion there.
What's up, buddy? Where's the ball? Where's the ball?
Hot mic, Kosho. We know that there's distortion there. Then when Bob sees a globe, he thinks that because that looks like a Mercator when it's stretched over a globe, that therefore that distortion is still there. That's what he was trying to say, I believe.
Oh my God, that's so wrong.
I know. I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying. I'm pretty sure. Because I've heard him say it before,
That takes quite a bit of work to be that wrong. It really does.
It really does, doesn't it? And of course, we heard all the standard stuff. It tells you on the bottom that they're not for educational purposes. And the first globe was 1492. I hear you, Scott. Welcome.
Is my mic working now?
You perfect, lovely and clear. Okay. Welcome.
The thing that I just couldn't believe I heard was he's talking about how the continents were the wrong sizes.
Right.
And I just don't understand. I just don't. If somebody wants to understand the truth, it's very obvious. It's very clear. We have such a good answer for that. So I don't understand what's going on in his head. Is he lying? Is he literally deceiving, or is he have some sort of cognitive dissonance that doesn't allow him to understand the point, or what's going on there?
Who knows? Because he also said they don't plan flights with great circle routes. And
yeah, he did say that also.
Yeah, and I know
but I mean, some of those things, like that one, okay, like obviously I know he's wrong, but it's the kind of thing where you can have plausible deniability, where like how exactly are we going to prove to him that they do? But with the continents being the wrong size, we can do that together. Like we can show him the evidence of how it works, and literally just we have those gifts that we have, right? I mean, you can just prove to him that this happens,
right?
And after you do that, it doesn't need any. There's no plausible deniability to have. And once he's seen that once, I don't understand how they can keep repeating. It's not even like he's giving up the flat Earth. It's not even like he's saying, therefore, the Earth is a globe. All he'd be doing there is not repeating something patently and obviously false. I don't understand why they don't do it.
Yes, he was really preaching there. I think, this was the show directly. It was the day after the Flattoberfest last week. So this was last Sunday's show. And I think he was just full of the joys of flat Earth, He talks, we won't hear it tonight, but he talked quite a lot about how people kept coming up to him and telling him what a great job he did, and how he started to feel quite bad about that, because these people kept coming up to him and saying how cool he was, So I think he was really full of it, and I think he wanted to do a sort of a rousing speech there, I think, was what he
see.
was aiming at, I think.
Well, that's, science. It's been long the tradition of science to advance primarily on the basis of rousing speeches. So it only makes sense.
Right, yes. Jose, I sent you the link if you fancy popping in. Kosho, any thoughts? Have you given your thoughts? Well, I think you've got a dog.
Yeah,
I think Kosho wants to know if the dog wants to get the ball or not. He's
right.
Like, I think that's
right.
Hey man, I unmuted. Okay, and I forgot. But yeah, sorry, my sister's dog. He's bothering me right now. No, you know how I feel about Mr. Bob, and I know. I personally think that he's not being authentic at all in his belief. I honestly don't even think he believes in the flat Earth. That's my personal opinion. So, yeah, I don't know.
Understood.
I think everything he says is bullshit.
Yeah.
Personally.
All right. Well, shall we have a bit more? We'll have a little bit more, Bob. Next, the great feud between Bob and Nathan Oakley might be at an end, it seems. Here, for the final time tonight, is Bob to tell us more.
Many of you may be aware of the kind of debacle that went on between Nathan Oakley and myself, which started, actually it started out well over a year ago. And, suffice it to say that there are some things, obviously, that we do not agree on. Okay. And it kind of got elevated to the point where, we were battling each other and, all kinds of nice things were, not nice things were being said. And it was being really, I think, counterproductive to our cause, frankly. I really do believe that. Now, I will say that even though I do not agree with everything that Nathan says, and Lord knows he doesn't agree with everything that I say, I have to acknowledge that we are indeed on the same team, all right? And so trying to battle each other, whether it be for ego or anything else, is counterproductive, and I don't want to do that. So a while back, I extended an olive branch and, said, you know what, Nathan, we don't have to agree, but we certainly don't need to attack each other either or call each other shills. I mean, Eric Dubay did that, I think, quite enough for everybody, calling everybody shills. Not everybody is going to see flat Earth the same way. Some people, let's face it, we believe in different things. And that's one of the beautiful things about flat Earth is we are not an echo chamber. Everybody has their take on it. Everybody has their idea, whether it's biblical or, they may be following a looping Earth type of model, or, we have all kinds of different views on it. So the point is that, I was seeing this and Nathan is very much, into the, scientific method, and I congratulate him for that. I think that's great. And honestly, he's right when he says that, it was not following the scientific method that got us here in the first place. He is dead right about that, right? Now, I may not, agree with all of their conclusions. Obviously, I have my view on what gravity is, so-called gravity, and the fact that I like to kind of move forward and try and understand and maybe even explain it, or at least offer plausible explanations. That's my thing. I like to do that. Austin likes to do that. I think we all do. We like to fit into this paradigm. But, and we disagree on that. Nathan doesn't see it that way. I do. But that doesn't mean that he's right or I'm wrong or anything like that. It means that we have our own opinions. Before Einstein came along and dismissed it, science was making fabulous progress, and the world knew that the ether existed. And like I said, people say there's no proof of it. It's like, well, then what the hell is the fog measuring, right? It seems to fit every single description that we have ever come across, from antiquity forward. We understand its propagation characteristics. We get that. And we also devised a method to prove unequivocally that the rotation, that 15 degrees per hour rotation, was not Earth rotation. And I'm not going to go through that explanation again, but suffice it to say, we have done that. And, so what is so wrong about speculating and trying to put together a model based on that? Nothing is wrong with that. So I think Nathan understands that. And so today he released a show, and it was called Flat Earth Debate 1274 Uncut and After Show, all about Bob. But I want you guys to know that even though we may not see eye to eye on things, Nathan Oakley and Quantum Eraser and the team over at Ballbusters are doing incredible work. All right, they're doing a great job. They have got their argument honed down to a razor sharp edge. And it's fun, honestly, to listen to them destroy the ballers. And they do. They do an outstanding job of it. And, although there are times that I think that Nathan may go a little bit too far, I also completely sympathize with how he feels. His frustration, because we all get that frustration with this utter ignorance that these ballers show and how they just keep going around in a circle, and then they'll make claims that are not even our claims, and then they'll try and hold us, to those, and it's unbelievable, right? But so I just want you guys to know that there are other people that are doing fantastic work, and Nathan Oakley being one of them for sure, and that they need to be checked out as well. Whoops, sorry about that.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely legendary stuff, and has the content coming every day.
So anyway, we had some frustrations. We had, we kind of fought over it and all this stuff, but I know that it doesn't help our cause at all. And, so I extended that olive branch, and everything's cool between me and most of the Flat Earth Debate gang. Apparently there's a couple people on there that, think that I'm all self-absorbed or whatever, and that's great. Whatever you want to think.
Bob Nodell is made up with Nathan.
Yeah, everybody kissed and made up. Everybody's nice
That's
and
right.
nice.
Really? So does that mean that? Where does that? I don't believe that. How can that be true?
Like decent human beings. That is what it means, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Hold on, let me just fill Anthony in. You know all about the situation between my making up in Neil's vernacular with Bob. You're completely privy to everything, and nothing has changed. Just so you know.
So there's not been a make-up then?
All that's happened is Bob reached out for the third time, I might add. So he's reached out to me on 2 consecutive occasions with an olive branch, and I've told him to go screw himself, basically. On this third occasion, because there's been so much time booked between us, I've gone, because I'm indifferent, meh, okay, fine, I don't care, whatever, I've moved on. In other words, no hard feelings, and Bob's reached out to me, and I've kind of gone, yeah, okay, fair enough, whatever. And that's it. That's all that's happened. Now, does that mean that anything that has gone in the past has been forgotten by him, according to him? Well, not really, because now Anthony's annoyed with him for something that was perceived irritated back in the time when I was addressing specifically the Netflix drift issue that I'm now thanking him for. Everyone's clear that Earth's supposed to be turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour and all on the globe side, claiming Bob proved it, but we don't see it. Well, that's turned out nice. Roses from shit. Well, it all seemed very down and bad for Bob at the time, and he's even got me on my side attacking him for his lack of scientific validity when he claims he's got ether drift, and pointing out that instead of gyros with a pendulum, that means Earth turns underneath then, right? Now, on the one hand, he's like, yeah, you're right, that means Earth turning underneath, and we don't see any drift. On the, you haven't got any scientific evidence for this ether drift claim, obviously he didn't like that. Now, as a result, there's been negativity between us, but the bad blood has dissipated. That's the sum total from beginning to end of what's happened.
He's critical of us on so many things, and I don't understand it. When whether you agree or disagree with what actually happened in terms of why the egg moved, there's no dispute that the egg did move, right? So there must be a force, and it goes the opposite way to their model. That surely should be the point that our lot should be jumping all over. But when somebody like Bob on our side is going against that, it's like, what gives, man? Come on, this argument's been around long enough. We've been through it that many times. Every point that he criticizes it against has got a valid rebuttal that he just ignores, and he's still pushing it. And I'm like, what the fuck do you think you're doing, man? Honestly, he's an idiot.
I just like real people. You guys give me the truth. You ain't trying to push something. These are going by scientific method, natural law, and I like that. When people start trying to push ether and push gravity to the point where they deny people that do experiments, it bothers me a little bit. And when they talk about it, and he's talked about it more than 5 times that I can count, that he's mentioned that there's experiment, okay? It just bothers me.
I'm with you, Neil, on that. I'm absolutely with Neil, 100%. Absolutely. I couldn't be more with somebody.
Oh, it bothers me a little too every now and then, but I don't go latch on to it.
If someone has to give you reasons why something is real, as opposed to actually showing it to you, it means it's not real. This show is about being honest and being true. What we can prove, what is provable, what isn't provable. And your show suffered because of his actions. So truth suffered because of his actions.
How? How did it suffer?
Well, less people know the truth.
At the time, and to this day, people come in and quote Netflix. Bob proved drift. That needed addressing. And I did. Arwen described right at the beginning of this conversation how he's not treated like a troll in Globebusters. How they're warming to him. But at the moment, it's a meh from me and a olive branch from him that's been accepted, so there's no more bad blood.
Is anyone who says anything that goes against what he believes. I listened to Globebusters for several years. He just shuts them down, doesn't want to know. He's not going to debate anyone on relative density equilibrium. He's not interested, and that's the thing. I'm interested in debating him on what he believes, but he doesn't want to know about what I believe. That's the problem.
And never forget, Oakley's show is about being honest and true, apparently. So, yeah, that was Bob and Oakley's battle is finally coming to an end, it seems.
Well, sort of. It doesn't sound like Oakley is willing to say so.
No, that's right. He wasn't being very charitable at all, was he?
They're literally middle schoolers. They're literally having fights over I'm just speechless sometimes by the amount of hypocrisy and unawareness and self-awareness that they have. It's just painful to listen to.
It really is.
I mean, what did he say? He said we're about the truth. He said, listening to him complain about Bob, he said, and we have all these valid responses to the various things that Bob brings up, and he never responds to them, and yet he just keeps saying what he wants to say. What is his problem? And I'm thinking, how did they not recognize that it's exactly what we complain about with them? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's hilarious that. Go ahead, Mr. Garbage.
That was kind of embarrassing on Bob's behalf there. If anybody has contact with him and can reach out to him, just ask him this one question for me. How do Nathan's balls taste, Bob?
I know. It is pitiful that they have now all basically, what's the word? What is the word? Sort of, I don't know, knuckled under.
Well, they all fall over themselves to ingratiate themselves to each other. And they all take turns being the one that's being a dick. But it is a little bit like the Island of Misfit Toys. It's like, it's hard to understand why they like who they like, but they do. But it seems to shift for arbitrary reasons. But mostly, it just seems like a bunch of children acting out and trying to be popular and getting mad at each other when they're not.
Although I noticed that Bob started calling it a cause again. He referred to it a couple of times as a cause, flat Earth, our cause. And that was something we used to hear a lot in 2015, but not really very much since. And they'd call it a movement as well. Again, I think he was perhaps full of the joys of flat Earth because he was fresh back from that Flattoberfest thing. But yeah, and like you say, I think Oakley really, he was like, well, I was like, yeah, and he'd offered me the olive branch 3 times, twice before, I might add,
Yeah. And then he got all offended when the guy said, your show suffered. Well, how did my show suffer? My show did not suffer.
Right.
He's literally, what's her name? He's the mean girl. He's the main mean girl. The mean girl. It's painful to see. Right. Next thing you know, he's going to try to make fetch a thing.
Regina George.
Well,
that's the one. Yeah,
trust you to know.
That's what I hear. I mean, I have no idea. That's just the name I hear. But anyways, it's hilarious that Mr. Curb did a good impression of Nathan Oakley asking about the way something tastes. But I thought that the way Riley was, I don't know, somehow trying to direct it from Bob Nodell's observation to his experiment of the eggs.
Right.
Like
yeah.
nobody wants to hear about that, but like like he forcefully trying to bring it back there.
I know he honestly thinks that he really established something by his egg in salty water.
Yeah.
You know, he really changed the world in some way. You know, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? How these.
Yeah, it's a little bit desperate.
Yeah, it just seems like he's totally in a bubble somewhere. You know, like a flat Earth bubble where his entire reality is really flat Earth on YouTube and Discord, I guess, as well, you know.
Like the number of people who look at that and their automatic response is to laugh at it, or I'm sorry, the automatic response is not to laugh at it. I find would probably be very few and far between, even among flat earthers. Like that's not a very big experiment.
No. And just especially the way he conducted it as well. You know, he's like, well, I've got this meter here. I don't know what it measures. Could be unicorn farts for all I know. And you think, well,
all right.
And you're sitting there talking about the scientific method. You know, and you don't even know what the thing is that you're using to make your measurement with. You know, or what thing it is you're measuring even. Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. All right, we'll push on. Not a long clip. Next, a new flatty who I found via Everett's channel, as always. So here from Lauren's channel is Lauren Jacobs.
Guys, it's hit me. I have the theory, the truth theory. Okay, like I was watching an ODD TV video where he showed the firmament and Antarctica going around. Literally, I believe we're enclosed in a firmament to be manipulated and used as food by different beings. Like, literally, just think of it like this. A big area. A big area. And then there's a dome, and we're in the dome. Like, that's what I believe it is. Because people always say, where's the edge? If it's flat, where's the edge? We don't know what's beyond Antarctica. Antarctica is the ring around. And then there's the dome, which we're enclosed in. And then there's more. And I believe we've been enclosed in here by extraterrestrials.
Hey, controllers. I could die today and you'd still be done. I could go to the psych ward today and you would still be done. I could go to jail today and you'd still be done. Your time is done. You want to know why? Because the truth is out. It's coming out what you've done to, geniusly manipulate the system so we can't actually learn anything that's actually helpful to our lives. You've hidden everything, and then you put it under the guise that we're actually getting educated, and everything is in place to get us educated for this life. No one knows how to handle relationships. I don't even have men understanding that if I get angry, it's for a reason. They think I get angry because something's wrong with my brain. So I just want to let you know, whoever you are, if you think that you have something on me, like, oh, I took a video while driving and got angry, I'm going to get Lauren arrested. Or, oh, the neighbors called Lauren because she was screaming, time for Lauren to go to court. Or, oh, Lauren owns a chat room and child porn got posted in it, so Lauren's a pedophile. Time to take Lauren to court. Just want you to know, no matter what you do, you're done. People know. It's all getting woken up no matter what you do to me. People know. So have a good time, trying to do whatever you do to get people like me in the psych ward, and people like me in jail, and people like me killed. We're done with you. Your time is up and your plan failed. You can't mind control the masses into a submission of what you want. God is in all people. God speaks through all life forms. So your little plan failed because you're too stupid to realize that God is in all people. So, that's all I had to say. And, never mind. I'm just gonna end the video. Bye. Hey everyone. So today I'm gonna be talking really briefly about how Disney movies are trauma-based mind control. When I was watching Ariel, like, there's a scene where basically Ariel is like so happy and she's like thinking about how she's gonna talk to Eric and like everything is beautiful and good, and she's like, it's like a moment of her being super happy, and then what they do is it transfers to her being watched by the two evil snakes that work for Ursula. Like, basically what that teaches children is that if things are going well, they're not really going well. Someone's watching you, someone is out to get you no matter what.
Lauren Jacobs with her thoughts on Disney there, amongst other things.
Well, I like her. I don't know what you guys have to say, but I think she's great. Does anyone know if she's single or what the story is there?
That's where you can distinguish my love interest from Scott Veach's love interest. Okay?
Why?
Because I was torn, to be honest with you. I was torn a little bit. I was going to say...
I definitely thought she's the girl for you, Kosho.
Yeah,
So
I know,
Scott.
but that's what I'm
So
saying.
Scott,
But me and
Kosho
Scott have
likes
a
the
similar
Mad
interest. I think this makes it distinguished because I was about to say, you know what? At the beginning of this scene, like, I was looking at her wedding ring. I was like, that's not a wedding ring. It's like a promise ring. It's on the middle finger. She's fine to go. And that's the next scene. I'm like, no, she's no good. There's no way she's good. Not in a million years she's good. And that's the pink hair again. And I was like, okay, maybe. But instead, at the same time, I remembered her from the other scene, and she was no good. Whereas Scott Veach, he's good all the way. So that's where you make the distinguish right there.
She was a bit shouty.
No good for me.
Well, she was a bit.
She was a bit shouty. I did get confused about the part where God is in all living things, and so therefore our plan failed. But we're living things. So
Right.
I was confused as to isn't God speaking to us too? How does she get to pick and choose who God speaks to?
I wasn't entirely sure how the plan had failed, or what the plan was, but it seemed to...
or who the controllers are.
Right. Or actually, yeah.
I mean, I actually feel bad for the girl because I do actually have seen a lot of her videos, and the truth is, I think she's bored. I think she is. There's a borderline clinical issue going on, and I don't think she has control over it. And I can just imagine her life is not great because she's just competent enough that she doesn't signal to people, I think, to treat me like I have an issue. And so instead what happens, she's treated like she's just got a bad attitude. And then, I bet she does get lots of trouble for things that probably aren't her fault.
I wondered how many of the, when she was listing the things and she said,
come on. Those are absolutely just literally...
Yeah, the neighbours complained because I was screaming or something like that and want to get me in the psych ward. And I thought, that probably happened.
I've watched like 20 of her videos, and she's gotten put in like 3 times. And I mean, this is all. Oh, God. She's literally talking about her life. Yeah.
Maybe I should have done more research.
3 times you say, huh?
So how come you latched onto her then, Scott? What did you find?
Well, I forget. Someone posted. She has some really. I mean, you didn't find the ones where she loses her mind, like.
Right.
Maybe they're down now, but she has some ones where she was driving and she like loses it. And so someone had posted that like a year ago or 2 years ago. So I watched a bunch then. I hadn't seen these new ones, but
right.
But in the ones where she loses it, you get the strong sense that like this isn't just someone who's angry. This is somebody who's not completely connected to the reality around her. Like she was, it's controllers and it's all those classic things that sort of have the air or hint of schizophrenia. Not that I can diagnose, obviously, but they have that air of something that's not completely grounded in our reality.
Right, understood.
Isn't she very adamantly against having children?
Oh, I don't know. What is she like a nihilist sort of thing?
I thought she was whatever that word is for like a woman that or a person that believes you shouldn't have children, or they're very against it.
I think that's true. I think I made something like that. Yeah.
Everett would know.
What's the name of her channel?
It's called Lauren's channel.
Lauren's channel, okay. Because I'm not completely turned off by her. Scott said some things that may have reignited, whatever.
Kosho hears the word clinical, and he's in.
yeah, he's in there.
Yeah. But having said that, I do find it odd. It's not just her. There's a couple of people. They'll make videos where they get really passionate and then like they get like to that like very pinnacle of like how aggressive you can get, and they don't know how to stop their video. They're like, oh shit, I should probably stop now. They're like, no, you should have fucking made sure that it was done by the time you got there.
Right.
Now just fucking digressing now.
Right. You need to have like a good sign off, don't you? Like the impactful sign off.
Yeah.
Like those guys. Have you seen those? There's a guy I watch who he ends his video by just he's always filming usually from a selfie stick, and he ends his video just by putting his palm up to the lens of the camera. I always think it makes quite a good ending to the video. You know, he's very slick how he does it.
It's a way to go, sure, but I mean, I feel like there's a more.
It's a great channel. It's called Tom Pemberton's Farm Life. And it's literally a young lad and his dad running this farm, and it's actually really cool. He makes great videos. That's
such a you channel to like. Like you're the guy that turned me on to the parrot or the macaw or whatever it was called.
Oh right, the toucan.
A guy running a farm, a guy talking to his parrot. These are your favorite channels of all time.
I know, it's crazy. But this guy really, really likes his cows. You know, he really does like those cows, and it's a farm where. It's a proper farm, but it's also open to the public. You know, they've got a bit of a sort of like a visitor centre thing, you know, and all that. And it's very good. Anyway, I find myself watching those videos. He's a great presenter, though. This guy, I mean, he really is. He's a real natural. You know, and I find myself. I've been watching this video about they bought this new what do they call it? Tanker. It's basically a trailer with a big tank on the back that they use for, you know, spreading silage and whatever, or muck spreading on the fields, you know. And I was watching this for about half an hour, all about this tank. I thought, what the fuck am I watching this? Anyway, I digress. Tom Pemberton's Farm Life. Check it out. Next, it's everyone's favourite. The King is back with us once again. And I'm afraid where the King is concerned, there is some good news and some bad news. Two clips together here. First, the bad news.
Hi guys, it's M here. Now, I've known about this video for a while, but I thought it was time I shared it with you. Yeah, I've known about it for months now, in fact, and it is a video of Greg Hackett before he was claiming himself to be king. He was claiming himself as Lord Chancellor for Francisco Manuel. So he was pushing that Francisco Manuel was the rightful bloodline to be the King of England, and he wrote the Hidden King of England books with him. So if you guys are following the story, I'm sure you already know this. However, what you might not know is that back at the time when he was living with Tom Cahill does actually speak about it in his interview with me. They went to Buckingham Palace and they went to Downing Street. They tried to deliver letters, you know, like sort of confirmation proof that Francisco, what was it? It's like a letter of informing the Prime Minister and the current government, and also informing Buckingham Palace and the monarchy that Francisco Manuel is the rightful blood heir to the throne. And so I'm going to show you the video now. I do warn you that the quality is really bad, but you'll get the point. For anyone that's interested, yeah, carry on watching and you will see Greg sort of talking to people and trying to deliver these letters to push Francisco Manuel as a king. This is very interesting, so I thought I'd show you guys. Here you go.
You have a letter to be delivered and it's to go through the process going to the sorting office at the back of the Army and Navy store. Who won't take it? to the Army and Navy store. Victoria Street. So I can deliver it there and I'll deliver it straight here? Well, I won't necessarily deliver it straight here, but it'll go into the system. Okay. If no letter is expected. Oh, the letter is expected? Well, it's not called to our information. Okay, so the back of the Army and Navy stores is Victoria Street, around the back of the Army and Navy store, Victoria Street. Victoria Street, okay.
Yeah, right, because they knew what was coming. They knew the true royal family had a claim to the throne. So 10 Downing Street was refusing it, and here I am walking past Big Ben.
And the Queen Elizabeth II Conference Centre, but I can't get a conference with her. Although I represent the true King of England, she doesn't seem to want to talk to me. I wonder why.
Well, looking quite dapper, may I say.
Everett Cameron, Prime Minister, 10 Downing Street, London, SW1A2AA. Good stamp. And there we have the covering letter. We posted it on the 24th of June, and we tried again to deliver it. And it was refused, 10 Downing Street, at 4:05 today, 2nd of August. And here's the original letter that we sent. So we're trying to arrange a meeting between the Exiled King and Prime Minister David Cameron, requesting that he notify Queen Elizabeth II that there is a legitimate challenge to the throne. Time now is 5:30 p.m. on the 2nd of August 2010. Royal Mail, we are about 1.5 kilometres from 10 Downing Street.
And actually talking to 10 Downing Street security guards at around 11 p.m. that night.
So we've got this fantasy going that the British royal family are the wrong royal family, and that's the premise of that's the premise of the holiday movie, you know? So you're probably very right. Yeah, well what we're suggesting is that Queen Victoria actually had a child when she was 14, and she was married to blind Prince George of Cumberland, who became King George VI of Hanover. And the child was born in Carlisle Castle. And I've been approached by a gentleman in Portugal who claims to be the lineal descendant of Queen Victoria's firstborn son. So he's got about 30 royal marks to prove it. So we're not sure if we're making a fantasy or we're actually beginning a new royal family. But if we're beginning a new royal family, are we treasonous for them, or is treason out of the question, or do we negotiate? So I presented a letter to Prime Minister David Cameron today, asking for a meeting between the Exarch and Queen Elizabeth II to see what we're going to do about transfer of assets, because Buckingham Palace is rightfully his. We won't get a lot from him, we have to go to the Queen, because she's actually head of state. Well, David Cameron and the Exarch are actually 6 cousins as well. The police here, we're not on talk by the government. Yeah, you're Cole. Are you City of London Police as well? We're Metropolitan Police. Right. All police though are their boss is the Queen. Yeah. We are employed by the state, not by the government. Yeah. So whoever comes in the government and not our bosses, it's the Queen is your boss. Well, I'm trying to get a meeting. Yeah. I'm trying to get a meeting with her. It might be tough. I've been writing to her since 1997. She's aware of the situation, and she's aware of the royal marks. And you're probably right.
It's undeniable that we delivered the letter to 10 Downing Street, claiming as the rightful heir to the throne of England. The important thing is that they had it by 30th of June 2010, and very definitely by, say, the 5th of August 2010.
So, there you have it. 10 years ago, the king was proclaiming somebody else was the king.
Oh my God, I'm so distraught. I'm so distraught, man. Especially I seen this weird hair. He had that weird, crazy hair, and I don't know what to be thinking right now.
That's why I put that other clip at the end, though, because the king lives on, Kosho, and he's going to find Jacob's pillow, whatever that may be. So we haven't heard the last of him, even though clearly he's a total fake.
Oh,
as if we didn't know that already.
I should listen to his sisters, man. I should listen to his sisters a long time ago.
Yeah.
I still believe.
Well, that's
I want to be
curved.
I want to be with the curve, but I don't know. It's pretty upsetting, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jacob's pillow. My brother's name is Jacob. I know a few Jacobs.
Oh,
so
you could probably
I don't know how to
lay your hands on the pillow then fairly easily.
Might be worth something, but then again, I thought the bottle of wine was worth something. I thought all the bullshit he was saying was worth something, and now I'm just completely lost.
I'm sorry to do that to you, but I have to, bring you. I have to tell it how it is, don't I?
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough. I'd hate to be fighting like a rebellion against your queen just to be killed. Now I can see why he did not do that. It would have been a fool's errand.
All right, shall we push on and have it? We're racing through these clips, but we have got quite a lot tonight, so we're all right. Next, an odd little clip, although it's on the timings now, it suddenly isn't as little as I thought it was. But anyway, I stumbled across this from somewhere, and I hope it will explain itself. So enjoy. Any minute now.
We, the people, have a lawful document to represent the Chief Constable Commissioner under oath. This notice is a criminal activity ranging from treason, medical mismanagement to fraud, theft of using energy weapons such as 5G energy street lighting. All whistleblowers, all the facts documents are in this. Electronic copy will also be issued, which you can download and click on the links. This is gone to all the statutories in the country, and it will go to all the MPs and all the mayors. That's a hard copy. It's my proof that I've given it to you.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate it. That's good.
Lovely. Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
What's your name, sir?
I don't consent. It's we the people, yeah, and sovereign people, and under the jurisdiction of the common law court. Yeah. Thousands of people. So there's a website he can go to, and it's been signed around the clock, 24/7. Yeah. And that's just the taste. There's more to come. Okay. Yeah, this is very serious. All right. Thank you. Cheers. We've gone countrywide to all the constables. Okay. And we will be issuing it to all the mayors and electoral. Basically, this is on the internet. We've got millions of people behind this signing. There's hard facts. Proof documents in there.
Okay.
All right. Good. Thank you, sir.
Your police officers are going to be held accountable. That there, please have a read of it. Please take a copy of it. We're going to ask the chief to circulate it amongst your police officers so they can do as their conscience dictates. Okay. What's your name, please, Sergeant?
I'm Sergeant Fitzgibbon.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Fitzgibbon. Okay.
To read all this now, or just
you can have a look at it at your own leisure, Sergeant Fitzgibbon.
Yeah.
If you can ensure
is
the game.
this copy or is this...
That's your copy for you, my friend. Okay. That one there, though, if you can make sure that goes to Go Forsyth. And if you have time to read it, have a read of it yourself. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Cheers, guys.
And it's just a notice to the Chief Commissioner. To obviously present the information and also outline their obligation under their oath and duty of law to investigate what we're presenting. We'll pass it through here, so...
Is someone signed for it or?
Document, as I did say earlier, this document contains evidence of crime and fraud against the people. You and I, Nikki.
So thank you very much for accepting this notice. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed. Yeah, I'll just leave it as it says. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much indeed.
I've got a lawful document to present to the Chief Constable. Yeah, it's to cover all criminal activities ranging from treason, medical mismanagement, fraud, theft of use of energy weapons such as 5G LED street lighting. We've got whistleblowers' testimonials, we've got documents, proof, facts. We'll also be sending an electronic copy so they can actually click on the links and actually download them themselves. But this is just for our record, giving you the hard copy. Are you able to give this to him?
Yeah, I can take that. So I have to.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Cheers. And we want to bring it back into the common law jurisdiction, which will benefit you, everybody here today, and all these fine witnesses. Really appreciate that, obviously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Constable Steve Watson is at this.
Can I ask who you are first and why there's
I'm actually here on behalf of We the People. We're here to serve documents.
Okay, right, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll leave those with you. We've got his email. The official documents will be forwarded also by electronic email. He's
What's
got
your name?
7 days to reply. My name is Pippa on behalf of We the People.
Okay.
Is the Chief Constable Joe Shiner in available? Right, we're here to serve a document. We've got reports of very serious crime. So if you can hand this in to Joe Shiner.
Take it straight to the postman for you.
You can take it through the postman.
Yeah.
Okay, it's served.
Can I just take the name? Is that right?
Oh yeah, my name's Chris.
Correct.
There's an email address if you want to respond to it on there.
That's fine, Chris. Thank you. No worries, I'll take that straight over
Thank
for
you very much.
Thank
Thank you very much for your time.
And we are serving a lawful notice onto the Chief Constable to ask him in the first place to uphold his. It's a notice of obligation. It's basically to say, did you sign your oath to represent the people, or did you sign your oath to represent corporations?
Okay.
So some evidence to go along with that.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
This is going to Mr. Gavin Stevens. He is the Chief Constable of Surrey County Police, yes?
Can you give me the
And I'm now
envelope,
handing
please?
it to this gentleman who's a lovely man.
Yeah.
His name's John.
The lovely man wishes to get on with his work. Right. Okay.
He's obviously been in the service a long time.
A very long time.
And you obviously do a very good job, sir.
I do a very good job.
Yes.
Which was bringing you up here to take the envelope.
I know, you're so kind. Sir, I'm very grateful to you. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Thank you. Bless you. Have a great day. Okay, thank you.
I want to shake your hand.
Okay.
My name is Alex from the Executive Services team. How can I help you?
Okay. We the people have a lawful document to represent to the Chief Constable. His name is Steve. This notice covers criminal activities ranging from treason, medical mismanagement to fraud, theft of using energy weapons such as 5G, LED street lighting. All the whistleblowers' testimonies and information from Wuhan confirm that 5G weapon is engineered technology for use of attack mode. Clearly the state isn't for communication medium for data and voice. We'll send electronic email to the chief so you can download and see all the links.
Okay.
Otherwise this folder would be way too big. So
I can take that.
That's for you.
The Chief Constable's not here today, but I
Yep.
can certainly take that from you.
We just want you guys to basically, protect, and follow under your oath basically, and do your duty to protect if we want to work with you. I mean, it's going to affect you guys, it's going to affect us. Like, we're not against you at all. We want to work.
We're totally with the police.
We want
Totally.
to be aware of it, you know. So, yeah, everyone's family.
Say that you've got that.
there you go. I don't. So they're doing some sort of common law thing, serving papers on chief constables around the country for, oh, well, you heard it all, treason and 5Gs, an energy weapon, and just all the usual, the melee and mix of conspiratorial thinking that is out there at the moment. Anyway, what did you think, gentlemen?
You got some very polite nutters there.
Yeah. Did you notice how some of them had made the effort as well they'd sort of dressed for the occasion? Did you notice that?
I saw the one guy wearing a skirt.
Yeah, he was wearing a kilt. He had a broad Cockney accent, and he turned up in a kilt. And there was another lady in a sort of a, in a nice dress kind of thing, which kind of looked a bit out of place in a police station, I thought. So, yeah, I don't really know what they hoped to achieve by that. They seemed to think it was monumental in some way. Oh, Truth Nerds, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, just to annoy Ranty, to be honest. Well, that's a good, worthy cause, if ever there was one. Sorry, Curve, go ahead.
I guess I was coughing. I don't remember.
Thanks again, Truth Nerds. That's a very generous super chat.
No, see, what I don't get is, like, you say that they're well dressed or something like that, but I don't even really get what the point of many of this stuff is, because it seems like, I don't know, it just seems like there's not really anything to be complaining about for the most part.
I'm not sure the thing will just go in the bin.
But
yeah, well,
you're missing the point. They got served. That means the people win.
Right. Yeah, it's these they convene these common law courts, don't they, and appoint themselves judges and things like that. And I guess that's where they got all this stuff from. But
are they going to be trotting into the station, politely requesting that the constables turn themselves?
I know. It doesn't mean. What do they think is going to happen next? Honestly, my prediction is absolutely nothing will happen as a result of this. So, yeah. Anyway, it was good to see.
Entertaining thought.
They seem to, when there's all that hugging at the end, like, I mean, all she'd done was hand a letter in at the police station.
I felt like it moved. I was moved. So
yeah,
that's what matters. I know I didn't get you the music there, and then the was it Project 202 or what was that, the Movement 202? I forget what it was called.
Event 202.
Right, Event 202. There you go.
Yeah.
It was so, like, even that event itself, it was so, like, everybody came from different directions. So it's like, I don't even think they were on they had the same message even.
Yeah, well, that will be the theme for our next 3 clips, actually, I think. We'll see. And we're going to see Simone again. Simone was the one that was, you saw her there, she's well-spoken. She was writing on the envelope on the floor at one point. And you saw her right at the end on stage at the event, at the Trafalgar Square event. So we're going to hear some of her screaming in a minute. But first, it's now time to don your gilet jaune and charge the batteries to your loud hailer as we attend a protest in Birmingham. I'm not entirely sure what these people are protesting. Their overriding goal seems to be to get more people to believe in conspiracy theories. But that wasn't the only theme going on. Take a look. I think I forgot to cue it up again, but it's coming.
We have to grow. We have to give and family to wake up. All of us want that, right? We're sick of our friends and family not realising and recognising. Their soul has been beaten down more than ours. We're still here fighting. We can help them, but what we have to do is we have to continue to grow. We can't just be frustrated at them and everyone else and the police and people that don't see it. We have to be the leading example, and we have to continue to grow ourselves. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop with just making them catch up to us. We keep growing. So we have to recognize what is the matrix, the fake matrix, and what is the real matrix, what God made, what is natural, and start to lean more towards nature and rely on nature. Stop supporting the capitalist shops, the big supermarkets, the big high street shops, buying all our clothes and our food from these corporate places. As long as we lean on the matrix has a right to do this to us in a way. Go for walks. Go for walks in nature. Go with your friends and family. Go on your own. When you're there, talk to nature, talk to God. He's there, listening, waiting for us. Thank you. Glory to God.
Up next, we have a personal friend, a truth seeker, a man of God, an intellect, an all-round amazing guy who's been on this journey for a long time. Woke up a lot of people, continues to do so, helps people free of charge, and has contributed to me opening my eyes to a lot of things as well. So please give it up. He's an amazing man, a close personal friend of mine, Mr. Allegedly Dave.
Hello everyone.
Hello Dave!
I'm not really supposed to be here because this is my Sabbath, but I want to speak to you about something that's not really often talked about, and it's the spiritual aspect of all this. So this all goes back to the Old Testament, and this isn't going to be all religious or anything, right? Because religion is essentially something to hide the truth, okay? And it doesn't matter if you don't believe in the Most High, because our enemy absolutely does. That's why they have their Bohemian Grove rituals and their eyes wide shut parties, because they absolutely know that the Most High exists and the other fellas exist, because that's who they worship. There's a verse in Genesis that's often missed because it's one verse. And it basically tells of how angels came down and had sex with women and produced another bloodline, another seed line in this earth, right? And that is why the Most High had to create a flood. He wasn't a genocidal maniac like the Dawkins of this world would say. He wanted to preserve mankind from this corruption. And it's this corruption that we're seeing in the world today, because that bloodline is the same bloodline that's in charge of the world today. And that bloodline hates us. It despises us. And it doesn't matter if you look like them, right? They hate you just as much as they hate everyone else, okay?
Now, we've been talking a lot about eugenics today from the other speakers. And unfortunately, this is what we're facing. And I don't want to scare people, because I believe we can win this. We have to win it. Because literally humanity depends on us winning this. And we have to win it. We are on a knife edge at the moment. Humanity is on a razor's edge. We either go and lose humanity to the AI robotic agenda, or we fight for humanity. And fight we have to. And we have to do it now.
Without further ado, here's Mark Devlin.
Well, hello. Thanks to everyone for tuning out today. The best use of your time. It is no exaggeration to say that we are now standing at the most pivotal point in human history. And our generation is the one that bears the responsibility for determining where things go from here.
Yes.
There are two timelines waiting to play out. Down one lies an absolute dystopian nightmare of the type you've seen in movies for decades, where all our rights and freedoms are taken away and tyranny runs rampant. All justified by a virus that probably doesn't even exist. Down the other timeline lies freedom, truth, justice, and love. And in the same way that there's two timelines, there's only two teams here. There's only two sides to be on. And the time has come for everyone to choose a side. One side is collaborating with evil and tyranny. I'm sorry to say, all those people that are obeying immoral government dictates, that are putting a mask on when they're told to, that are shutting down their businesses when they're told to, that are preventing people coming into their homes when they're told to, are complying with this slavery. There's no virtue in that. I'm sorry to say, all the police officers that are enforcing all these draconian rules are also siding with evil, because without their complicity, without their cooperation, none of this could get put into physical manifestation. There are two sides. Everyone has to pick a side, and it will be remembered which side everyone chose when all this is over.
It will.
Hello, Birmingham! It's so good to see you. All your awesome faces, every single one of you, a unique expression of the Creator God. You're wonderful and fearfully made. I'm telling you this because I want to empower you today. You have no idea of the power that's inside every single one of you. The power to rise up, the power to make a change, the power to make a difference is on the inside. The problem with the world today is that a lot of you are not in the Word of God. The Word of God is a firm foundation. The Word of God is powerful. The Word of God is sharper than any double-edged sword, that it can divide between bone and marrow, soul and spirit, and it can discern the thoughts of men. 10 months ago,
Hey, pal, thank you.
I woke up to what is going on, the reality around us, when I to researching Pizzagate. And I tell you, I went into a big depression. When you know that hundreds of millions of kids, innocent blood is being shed on a yearly basis, and the satanic ritual abuse, and all the torture, and the sacrifice, and their drinking of blood, the adrenochrome. If you don't know the word, you don't know why they're doing it. Let me tell you what the word says. God's word says, do not eat and do not drink the blood, for the life is in the blood. The word life, Hebrew is nefesh. It means your soul. The soul is in the blood. So these Satanists are drinking the very part of you that is supposed to return to the Most High. Right? You know Satan to be like God. He wanted to usurp God. He wanted people to worship him and not the Creator. Guys, folks, we're up against witches and warlocks and demonic forces and princes and principalities in high places. If you bought into the illusion of this world, I'm telling you, you're going to remain a comfortable Christian sitting on your sofa, right?
And we will do.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, friends, COVID-19 has not killed churches. COVID-19 has exposed the dead ones for what they really are. I'm telling you, they're coming after us. They are coming after the blacks and the Asians first. They have extinction codes within the vaccines that are going to eradicate black people and ethnic minorities. They don't see you as human. They see you as subhuman.
So let's cut straight to the
SARS-CoV-2 virus pandemic is a monumental, gigantic hoax, a scam, and a fakery. And we must stop cooperating with the fascism being imposed in its name.
So that was part one of the protest. And what the theme I was talking about really was there were just so much God bothering going on. It was unbelievable, I thought. It was more like a religious revival than some sort of protest, I thought. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
I thought Mr. Curve was going to say something. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Curve.
Real quick, what really stood out to me was right there in the very beginning, there was a celebrity sighting near the stage. Jason of the Dingleberry family.
Yeah, he was there.
Right there filming.
Yeah. I should probably have got it off his channel, actually, thinking about it. That's
Props
kinda
to
silly of
Jason.
me.
Hey, have you booked your ticket to England yet, Kosho? I mean, that bitch is mad crazy. I know you're on your way.
I was thinking about it. I really was. I did notice, though, that it seemed like a lot of the dudes weren't really responding to that. It's almost like they weren't listening to her, and I was like, oh, well, you know, maybe she's not that, I don't know, it seemed like she wasn't that, I guess, where enough people would be following it. It seemed like when she started talking, a lot of people were not really on board with what she was saying. She kind of had to keep on
right
it up a little bit, but
yeah.
wasn't 100% sure on what was really needed to be expressed there. It always seems like with that, because like they always make it seem like it's about to be Mad Max, and it's not really. So I'm not even really sure what everyone's going so crazy about. They're going crazy about all this stuff that they say is about to be going down, but I don't know. I guess I don't see it. Maybe it's just not happening here. But they really make it seem like it's about to be Mad Max. But
I know. I mean, that really is the theme that they're putting across now. That idea, isn't it? That we're, you know, that this is the Great Awakening, and we're on the brink of, you know, this dystopian future, and it's all very weird, I think.
Well, they say it's happening in some cases. Like, oh, well, it's already happening. You guys aren't really seeing it. And we're like,
right.
So that's why I can't tell if it's like maybe a different world you're living in over there, or if it's just these people are just a little bit crazier than the people over here. Because people over here aren't doing that for some reason. Like, there's not really a lot of Americans painting that scene. But it is. I guess
really, the QAnons are.
David Icke is
would you say the QAnons are? I think they probably.
Well, even they are like making it like it's like a secret. It's like oh well, secretly this is happening, and this and that. But a lot of people over there they make it seem like oh this and that is very apparent, and this and that it's on the fringe of, you know, where it's about to be turned over to where the whole world is, you know, on edge. And like I said, David Icke has always been about that. But even when you have David Icke on stage kind of saying that, it makes it seem like there's like a dire future that's it's like we're right there almost. I don't know.
Well, there's something we need to find out to, you know, spread awareness of, and that's like, let's say for mixed race people, like our friend Brummy, I believe he's got like one white parent, one black parent, or anybody like that in that situation. They take the vaccine that's engineered and designed to kill the, I guess, according to her, the not white people, black people, any ethnic minorities.
Right.
So if you're like mixed race, then will it half kill you? What is their outcome?
Mr. Curve, I'm mixed race myself, and to be honest with you, I've never been frightened by these vaccines up until you brought that up. That is a good point, though.
Well, this was specifically designed to do this, to kill ethnic minorities.
I know. I'll have to be.
She said so.
I'll be cautious not to take that one then.
She's off her head, isn't she? And there's a bit in there as well where she talks about not knowing what the Earth is or something like that. So I think Disbury probably got to her while they were on that tour, and I think she's probably a flat earther. Anyway,
we can hope so.
I don't think she's the only one either. You know, in this. Well, of course, it was allegedly Dave.
Allegedly Dave, who for some reason wouldn't get on stage all the way. I was like, why is he not getting all the way on the stage?
And and he's suddenly decided he's some sort of religious person, hasn't he? He was introduced as one of the things was a man of God, and he goes on there and he says, I shouldn't be here today. It's my Sabbath. Well,
yeah, I picked up that line. I was wondering if like what is that day? Is it a Saturday?
Yeah, I think I'm thinking Seventh-day Adventists have Sabbath on a Saturday, don't they? And of course, Jews, but I don't think he's claiming to be a Jew. I think he's quite likely to be a Seventh-day Adventist or have had that in his past somewhere. But I've never heard him mention religion before. Not to the point where he wouldn't do an event because it was on his Sabbath. He's full of shit, that guy.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I know this from experience. Anybody willing to bring up their Sabbath, they're usually full of shit, to be honest.
Right, yeah. I was unimpressed by that. Should we have a bit more of this? Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I just think it's funny. Like, he really wouldn't get all the way on stage. Like, it seemed he gained a bit of weight in his belly region. But, I don't know. It just seemed, I don't know if that was the reason why he wouldn't get all the way on stage, but it just
maybe. Maybe he didn't want that on film. All right, let's have a bit more of this. Still at the Birmingham protest, this speaker had a tale to tell indeed. Have a listen to this entirely believable, definitely not the product of a mentally ill person story. And I've lost me button.
Hi everyone, my name's Kerry Robinson and I need to start speaking my truth. Yeah. My story is outlandish, but this is me speaking from my heart. And I hope today that me sharing my experience will inspire other people to come forward with their similar stories. So, when I was 17, I was drugged and raped by a man I now realise to be a ritualistic Satanist. Oh. I am now 24, and I named and shamed my perpetrator on Facebook, and after which I started being gang stalked. To define this term, it's when a group of individuals relentlessly invade all areas of someone's life in order to instill them with fear and drive the victim to suicide, incarceration, or institutionalization. So, they started following me to and from university in Brighton. I had the delight of finding feces dropped off at my doorstep. Oh, nice. 2 of my friends got held by knife point. They spread slander about me and my family. The night after I was attacked, my father lost his job. They accessed all my social media accounts and all my devices. I rang the police to report the stalking. Their only response was to ask me if I had mental health problems. Oh my God. I rang the police to say this is very likely linked to the rape I have just spoken about. They said they would come round and see me. They never materialised. Yes! It gets worse. So, thank you. On one night, my drink was spiked in my house. I remember trying to escape this situation and waking up in a vehicle. A man threatened me and honestly said to me, "Your life is going to be a loop and welcome to the government, baby." Next thing I remember is lying flat on my stomach and I'm paralysed and surrounded by a group of nefarious people. This happened on a night of a full moon and on a satanic celebration day of blood and sex abduction sacrifice. This all happened a week before news of the COVID pandemic. I believe that I was attacked physically and in the spiritual realm with ritualistic practices. I have memories of being taken underground and being in dark rooms and my toes being next to burning candles. I now have deep scars all down my back, which I definitely believe were part of a ritualistic act. Iconically, the night before this happened, I had a dream of my back being scratched up by black cats. And this is what it looks like now.
Whoa! Holy shit, guys, I'm going to try and get in on that. Go, go!
It continued. So they put me on fentanyl in this hospital for 3 to 4 days until they finally allowed me to be conscious. I woke up to an absolute horror ward. I was deliberately being maltreated here. Members of staff were most definitely threatened or bribed to make my time there as uncomfortable as possible.
Wow.
My medical notes are completely fraudulent. They say that I was trying to commit suicide. This was not the case.
Wow.
And believe it or not, on one occasion, the man that threatened me in this vehicle and my rapist and my rapist father, who I'd recognised from photos I'd seen on Facebook, they all entered the ward, and they, obviously as an act to intimidate me and humiliate me and show me that I was powerless during the situation. My phone also went missing, and when I was in hospital, I was isolated as the staff often didn't send me messages that my parents were contacting me. I was kept here for weeks and weeks until they finally got what they wanted. They institutionalised me. When I was finally returned back to Cambridge, gang stalking continued. I tried again with the police. They were rude with me again, so I gave up. So yeah, I have strong reasons to believe my rapist and the other attackers are high-ranking members of a secret society cult, and they have gone through extraordinary lengths to silence me and discredit me. However, I am not frightened of these people anymore.
Yes,
And during all of this, I have found my faith and strength. God has graced me with multiple signs that I must no longer remain silent.
Yes, yes! Yes, yes!
Miraculously, on my birthday, I was sent a Bible extract to read. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 10 to 20, which was about putting on God's full armour to be a spiritual warrior. And it was about speaking fearlessly as I ought to speak. And this was the date of my birthday, 6th of October 2020, which was the extract of the Bible. So it really spoke to me. I have seen thousands of testimonies of people who have had similar supernatural, satanistic abduction experiences by demonized people, and they have also found relief through their faith and through Jesus Christ. Guys, satanic ritual abuse and occult practices aren't fantasy tales.
No.
They aren't just in films.
Reality.
They are very real. They happen all the time. They can happen to anyone like me. I am lucky to stand here today and be able to use my voice. There are hundreds of people, children, kept underground in captivity, and these people are voiceless. I am a happy, healthy, normal young woman. I'm extremely resilient, and I am most definitely not psychotic or suicidal.
Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth. She's definitely not psychotic or suicidal.
Indeed. Mr. Jim, I just want to say a couple of things. She says on top about her spiked drink and the blood and sex abduction, her toes turned to the candle fire and all that stuff. I just said 2 words for you.
What?
I'm sorry. Not really, but in all honesty, yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know, a lot of bald-headed guys in the front, and like in the front of the scene there. It's hard to make a distinction between who believes this and who doesn't believe it, because she says a lot of unbelievable things, of course.
Right, but it seemed like she was believed, certainly by Tyrant Finder UK, who was holding the camera. He seemed quite into the story, didn't he? You know, didn't seem to cross. You know, you heard him making comments, little comments throughout, and
oh, that was him. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't seem to cross his mind that this might not be true.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, to me, some of these things go beyond it goes beyond the point of being able to, because like once things get too far, you're like, wait a minute, why didn't you say anything when this was happening? Like, these are high-ranking officials, and they had you, and like for weeks and weeks at like a sex abduction chamber or something.
Yeah.
And it seems like you would have said something to somebody before you being on stage in front of all these bald men. Like I said, I say these bald men just because they look a lot like, I don't know, like the security guards or something like that. There's like 5 or 6, 7 security guard looking guys where I don't know. It seems like you would have said something to somebody before being on stage in front of these people. In my opinion.
Yeah, it was an odd story, wasn't it? And kind of, you know, this is remember, because I think I've totally forgotten at least that this is a lockdown protest, you know, or sort of, you know, coronavirus measures protest, I guess, would probably be a more accurate way to describe it. And you know what? So what's any of that shit got to do with that? Anyway, I must read out some super chats. The first one, they're all from Lael is here, who said, first of all, I can't see it anymore. Hold on, I'll waz it back. I haven't got enough room on my screen. I need to get... Here it is. So it says, shout out to King Josh. Good job. And then immediately after, he said, should be King Kosho. So that was shout out to King Kosho. Good job.
I'm going to fucking say, who the fuck is King Josh?
I know. Well, I've got to read them as they're written, haven't I? And then he said, you like super chats. I don't think he meant, do you like super chats? Because you haven't read mine out, I think he meant. And then Todd Allen says, was Gary doxed? Oh, yes. That's another story. Gosh. Oh, gosh, I don't know whether we'll have time for that one. Gary, do you want to come on and tell us? Let me know in the chat and I'll send you the link.
I'm curious about Gary. Gary's a good friend of mine, so. But although Gary did say something about that. Like I said, it's a couple of things I've seen off.
Yeah, it was funny. It was an epic troll. I know.
Gary's a good guy. Gary's a good guy, though.
Hopefully, maybe he'll pop on and tell us about it.
You know, it'd be kind of good if Chris Lael, a good friend of mine, also, if he makes a couple more typos. Why not, right?
Yeah, that's good. If you could make if you could make a typo on each one, Chris, so you have to do them all twice, that would be great. I would really like that. That's good. And thank you so much, Todd Allen, for that very generous super chat. Right, shall we have one last clip? We've raced through them, managed to catch up, so we're more of a 2-hour show now, or looking that way. Ready? All right. In our final clip from Birmingham, and for this evening, a conspiritard we have come across before at the Trafalgar Square protest. I'm going to read this other super chat quick. Pinkertons are the kings of trolls, says Todd Adam. Very true, is that? Very true. So we've come across before at the Trafalgar Square protest. He was speaking as the police moved in. This time, we get to hear a fuller range of his conspiratorial thinking. The fuller range of the conspiratorial thinking of the former YouTube channel Sean Speaks. This is Sean Argyle.
Let's hear it. Sean Speaks. Here we go.
Sean Speaks! guys.
You are all amazing, beautiful people, and you all know what's going on in this world. It is so refreshing to be stood with like-minded people. Look around. Do we see any COVID? No! Exactly.
This is when the police are stop it. They tried to stop it the last time Sean spoke up in London.
And you're all standing for freedom, and you're all standing for justice. You guys are a changed truth. You are the resistance! My name's Sean Argyle. I'm an investigative journalist. I basically study corruption, so I specialise in looking at it on an international level. And what you need to realise, people, there are basically people who are above the government, they're above the law, they're above the politics, and they're above the people, okay? These are the 13 bloodline Illuminati families that run the world. This is not a conspiracy theory. They will label it as that because it's the only tool they have. And we have a moment right now around the whole world to change what is happening. If anything, the coronavirus BS has triggered the Great Awakening. This is what we're experiencing all over the world now, a Great Awakening, the mass gathering of thousands, if not millions of people to fight back against tyranny and fight for freedom. We must fight for the children. This war goes back to the beginning of creation itself. Lucifer was banished to earth along with his fallen angels. Ever since that day, they have waged war on God's creation, which is you, mankind. In the book of Enoch, it talks about the fallen angels' great sin. They made a blood pact that they were going to mate with God's creation. When they mated with God's creation, they created something called the Nephilim. The bloodline families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, these people are the descendants of Lucifer and his fallen angels. That is how far back this war goes. They control history, they control education, they control everything. The reason we don't know the truth about the planet and we don't know what the pyramids were for, who built them, is because they hold all the knowledge.
Yes! Yes!
And they hide it all from us.
Yes!
They control the narrative so you don't question it.
Yes!
It's time to wake up. And it's time to fight back. Yes, lad! The Vatican has 54 miles of secret archives underground. 54 miles of secret archives with ancient artifacts, advanced technology, stuff that they don't want you to know, anti-gravity, travelling in space. It's all real. NASA is a fake, it's a fraud, it's all bullshit. Now I'm just going to tell you about some subjects that I've researched and why it's important you view my research and spread it with the world. So I basically specialise on very serious topics. Who's heard of Pizzagate? The highest commodity is not gold, it's not drugs, it's not weapons, it's children.
Yes!
Underground! Abused children all over the world, Kerry's right. They've got children underground bases. There's children under the ground right now. Yes! In this city. Yes! Not in the fucking canal! They've basically created a secret internet, a secret SERPnet, a dark web platform where they can buy and sell children and do it discreetly. And all these politicians are part of it! All of them, they're all part of it! It's a massive club, and it's a pedo club that we're not part of! And the reason why you're seeing all the mayors and all the people in the cities locking the citizens down is because they're all being bribed. You don't get to that place in power unless they've got you by the balls. If they try and speak out, they'll say, remember when you did that to that child 20 years ago? If you don't lock down the city, that's going public, and that is what they're doing. Right, next subject. Who's heard of 5G? Right, I became aware of 5G before his COVID nonsense was out, okay? I heard a lot of people saying, is it dangerous, is it not? Well, I'm an investigative journalist, so I looked into it. Now, 5G is not telecommunication. Don't let anybody tell you it's 5G a bioweapon! 5G is microwave military weaponry. And this has all been planned well in advance. They want to contaminate you with that vaccine because inside the vaccine is nanotechnology, hydrogel.
If I got a model, can they post the link to PayPal, please? I'm being asked.
And you've always seen the videos of those people in Wuhan dropping dead. They were all given the vaccine first. Yes! They used the 5G to drop them down. Yes. This is their plan. Mass genocide. Yes! Another subject I was researching was 9/11. Who agrees 9/11 was a lie? Yeah! They want to get cash out of society. They want to know who you are, what you're buying, when you're buying it, and when you're doing it. They basically want to put a microchip in you or a biometric ID card. They're trying to roll out the COVID passport, the COVID ID. It's basically a biometric ID, which is gonna, basically, once you take that, it's the mark of the beast. They know everything about you. This is the same mark of the beast as prophesied in biblical prophecy.
Sean speaks there, giving it large at the protest. So, yeah, he seems to believe absolutely every conspiracy theory there is. And what's more, he seems to think he uncovered most of them personally. Oh, you guys still catching up? There's a big lag tonight.
That guy's incredible. I don't even know what he said, but, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well,
fired up.
Did it get lost in translation? I'm sorry. He is a bit of a... he's from the northeast somewhere.
Yeah, Kosho might call him a lazy mouth git. I don't know. But yeah, he seems like a sharp, responsible young man. I'm sure everything he said was true. It's fine. And I'll go with it.
Yeah, he insists it's not conspiracy theory, but of course he believes them all. And he does this thing, who's heard of Pizzagate? Well, who hasn't heard of fucking Pizzagate, for God's sake? Just... And he calls himself an investigative journalist. And he knew about... What was it? He knew about 5G before COVID, and all this nonsense. Very... Oh, Lyle says, I missed a super chat. I did. He's right. And it was that girl Curved's girlfriend. So he meant the gang stalked one. Could she be your girlfriend, Curved?
Sure. Let's go with yes. Why not?
Yes.
Curve, that's more my style. That's more my style than Curve style. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, she is your type, I think, Kosho. You do like the mad ones, don't you?
Yeah, so there's a limit. There's a limit, of course, but she didn't cross it.
What did you think to Sean Argyle there?
No, I mean, I go Curve brought the lazy mouse. That's really what I think of them too.
Could you understand him? Was he that hard to understand? We don't notice it, you see. We can automatically translate all British dialects.
No, everyone knows lazy
Except for Glaswegian.
Lazy mouth refer to the Australians, in my opinion. Which we are all far from,
He's some sort of Geordie. He's from, Newcastle or Gateshead or somewhere like that. We call them Geordies.
It's funny because I didn't want to say this, but there was a lot of dudes. And by the way, is this dude? Was he the guy wearing like a nice dress suit?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
a few weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to bring up Brummy, but it's just there's a lot of dudes who've been talking in these past few clips who remind me like the same accent of Brummy, but I guess.
Oh well, you're right. You're right. Actually, up until him, this is in Birmingham, where well, I probably shouldn't say it, but where Brummy is from. I mean, he's called Brummy, which is a bit of a clue. So, yeah, you probably did hear some of that accent. Particularly the guy introducing people, I think, he had quite a strong Birmingham accent.
This guy, the dude who was in question with the red jacket, is he kind of like, I guess he sees himself more as like a celebrity kind of guy? Because
he seems to think he is, yeah. And he sort of, rouses up the crowd and does all that, let's hear you, and all this sort of thing, you know what I mean? And
this time and the last time he was on the show, he makes a lot of importance about things that maybe are important, maybe aren't, but he makes it well more important than it probably needs to be.
Right.
Like I don't know. It's almost like the movement is like it's like the crux of civilization, where if this doesn't happen now,
right, we're all gonna die. We're all about to die. I mean, they say all these things. They're gonna look really silly in a couple of years when the kill grid hasn't been implemented, and all the black and Asian people haven't been killed and exterminated or whatever they said. Genocided, I think one of them said at one point. They're going to look really silly, and they must believe what they're saying, else they'd be more cautious about how they're going to be viewed in the future. I think
I hear Witsit does this a lot, and I feel like dudes who do this, they do it so often that the past ones are not going to be checked, basically, because he's making this so frequently that like he's saying new things now, and the things he said in the past, no one's going to check those things. He's saying new things now, and Witsit does the same. He brings up real new claims, and so it's like the predictions he made like a month ago. No one's going to check those, and I've heard him do this 24/7, where he makes massive claims where half the people in there don't even trust him on what he's saying, but he says it in such a way that just wait till it happens. But then when that's happening, when that time that he said was going to pass, he's already saying new things. So
right. So it just gets buried under the new bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, what you were saying there about like in a few years and them feeling silly, I've got a different view on that, because I think that what's going to happen in that time, when we get there, and these things that we're warned about did not come to pass, that will be due to the resistance.
Right. You're right. It will be because they stood up and exposed it, and that stopped it from happening. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the easy way out.
Praise
we
God
knew
for the
this was going to
resistance.
happen. It was on websites and things. We could see it happening, and we exposed it and stopped it. Yeah. I think you're right. All right, well, we've raced through it tonight because we had an hour and 8 minutes of clips, and we've still managed to fit it into a 2-hour show, which
We're pros.
which means you guys did not give value for money, I have to say. I'm only kidding, of course. I'm always grateful that you're here to help me, because without you, it would just be me ranting on, and that would be very boring, and the show would probably be just an hour and 9 minutes.
Well, remember, it's not just us. Lael is here.
Lael is here, says, Gem, resistance is futile. He's right there.
I love Chris, man.
Yes. All right, let's wrap it up, because during those last 2 clips, I've been heating something in the microwave, because I have not eaten a thing all day, so I'm hungry. Which means all I've got to do is say, oh God, another one. Is that another one? Or is that the same one? I think that's the same one. Where's the stuff where I sign out? It seems to have disappeared. All right, well.
I love it. Chris just trolled you and said the same thing twice.
Yeah. Oh, has he? He's just said the gem resistance is futile again. Hang on, let me try and find what's gone wrong with this document. Oh, here it is. Right, I've found it. All right, a great big thank you to everyone who has donated to my PayPal so far. If you can support the show, please follow the links in the description. And please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Join us again next week for more fabulous flatness. In the meantime, if you see something that you think should be included in the show, please post a timestamp link in the comments section of this video. Or join our Discord server. The link is in the description, along with channel links for tonight's panel. Our Discord has over 2,000 members, and we managed to keep a conversation going virtually 24/7. We welcome members with opposing views, so click the link and join us. Thanks again to tonight's fabulous panel, and thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back around the same time next week, so until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Have a great evening.
Stop talking about it and do something! Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit. Really?
It's like a gentle hate.
Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent with your friend?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.